Welcome back to the channel, guys. Today I'm going to be looking at three mid-ranges: the ROC, the KEA, and the Tactic. If you think these videos are useful, go ahead and help me out by leaving a comment, like, and subscribe. Doesn't really cost you anything to do that, but it really helps the channel. Thanks. All three of these mid-ranges are pretty similar in stability, but yet they're not all going to perform the exact same. So let's find out. Let's start by looking at the Tactic. This is by Discmania, and it's in soft exoplastic. The numbers on this are 4203. That 0-3 stability is very evident in this Tactic. Man, it is really overstable, and it's really low profile too, so it feels good in the hand on a sidearm shot, but it's got just the right amount of stability for doing some approach shots. You want to start to the left or the right, and you want this thing to hook back. It does a great job of that. You can force it over on an anhyzer to try to get it through some tight wooded lines, or if you're just out in the field and you want to start it off to the right and have it hook back a certain distance to the left, it does a great job of that. And of course, overstable approach discs just like this do a great job of approach shots in the 200-foot range that you need to start high to the right and have hook back in. This thing does great with that. Feels really good to start this thing out high to the right and just trust that stability to come back every single time. This Tactic feels great. I feel like this would be a great ace run disc if you're out in an open field and you got some shots that are in the 200 to 250 range. This thing, I guarantee, will give you some good ace run. To sum up the Tactic, this thing feels really good. You can see the profile there, reminds me a lot of like a Zone or maybe a little bit smaller of a Harp, but it's not as deep as a Harp, so it really did honestly, this feels like a Zone. That's exactly what it feels like. But I like this soft exoplastic. I think this would be great. It's gonna beat in, and then as it beats in, it's gonna be even softer and probably softer and a little bit floppy, and that's gonna be great for approaches. You can put it on a nice severe hyzer line, have it hit the ground, and you know this thing's not gonna go too far. So I think this is gonna be a great disc for anybody who's looking for a nice soft approach disc, but that's gonna have a lot of good stability on it too. Now we're gonna look at RPM's KEA. I did review a KEA before, but this one is in the strata plastic, which is very similar to the soft exoplastic that the Tactic was in. So it's got some good give to it, so this is going to be good for approaches too. This is an overstable approach shot just like the Tactic. You can start it to the right, to the left, and you know this thing is going to come back. If you're in a tight tunnel and you need to get through something, you can put this on a slight anhyzer, rip it hard, it'll get through that tunnel, but at the very end it's going to always fade out. I think this is a great disc for in the woods if you got to get around some trees, throw it up nice and high and swing around some trees. If you're out in a field in the headwind, you can trust this thing. It's never going to turn over. This thing is going to go dead straight even in a 25-mile-an-hour wind. I feel like this is such a great, reliable disc. You can trust it in lots of places. In the woods, out in open fields. If you got the wind in your face, pick this thing up, rip at it right into the wind, and this thing's not going to blink an eye. It's going to go straight for you and give you a nice good fade. To sum up the KEA, yet again, what a great overstable approach disc. I really like it in this strata plastic. Just like the Tactic, having this in a softer plastic is going to be a good complement for having the same disc in a premium plastic, because the premium plastic one is going to stay overstable longer and give you more ground play, which means more skips, whereas the ones in the softer plastic, they're going to still hold their stability, but as they beat in, they're going to give you less ground play, which is key if you want to put this on a nice severe hyzer, have it hit the ground and basically stop. So yeah, both the Tactic and the KEA in this strata plastic, I think these will be great discs for some of you guys that are looking for something in a soft plastic that's going to be overstable, and it's got a cool stand. All right, lastly but not least, we're going to look at the ROC This is in DX plastic and it's got a cool XXL Halloween stamp on it. I was actually surprised to find out that this has similar numbers to the Tactic and the RPM. A ROC is 4403. Usually when I think of ROCs, I think of more like a buzz type disc, something that goes straight. But no, these things are 4403. I will say out of the box, this DX plastic ROC did fly more like a 4403 initially, but after you hit the ground a couple times and maybe a tree once or twice, it starts to fly straighter, which is what I usually associate ROCs being. They're basically a straight flyer, but it's got that stability for the big arms that you can really rip this thing. You can get it to turn over sometimes, but it's not going to flip over like a Mako or something like that too. You know, the ROC's been around for a long time and there's a reason why pros are still throwing this thing. This is just a great disc. Feels good on a sidearm, feels good on a backhand. I mean, just like the Buzz from Discraft, this is a money disc for Innova. Who knows how many millions of dollars they've made off of this disc. Reason is, it's a really good disc. And check that out. That XXL stamp, Halloween stamp, man, that is sick. You can go to tudiscgolf.com right now and pick these up. Use the code RIDER2022 and get 5% off. Hey, thanks for tuning in, guys. Until next time, peace. If you'd like to get one of these discs, head on over to tudiscgolf.com. Use the code RIDER2022 for 5% off. We got these discs and more available there now.